So I'm really excited to represent this house. The first time I walked into this house, I was just so excited to see it and understand what was happening. The architectural level of this house is absolutely extraordinary. One of my favorite features is this long, amazing pool that just is kind of, the center point for the backyard. And then overlooking the pool, you just see a beautiful reflection of the sky, and then all the way out to the city, and then the ocean all the way up to Catalina. Just absolutely incredible feeling. It's what I call resort living in an urban setting, and it's an absolutely wonderful way to live.
This really is the perfect property in so many different ways. From the moment they started forming the team.
Zoltan Pali, Dugally Oberfeld, in the prime Doheny estates, this collaboration has created what I can only describe as a work of art. The detail and the quality of materials and craftsmanship throughout this house are next to none. We're talking about steel, concrete poured in place to perfection, stucco windows, slabs of limestone to the utmost level of finish.
My name is Zoltan Pali. I am principal of SPF Architects. This project was very special, and as with everything I do, there's a structural rigor. And so you see the columns, you see the structure exposed, and you see that that's on a 20-foot grid. It's very rigorous. And everything is based off of that 20-foot grid. Even the tile that you see broken up on the floor here is broken down into a module of that 20 feet. And the glass is then, the glazing and the windows is all broken down to a module of that 20 feet. And of course, that rule is kind of persistent, but then we break those rules at the corners and at the edges. And that's what creates a sort of interesting flair and plan diagram of the house. And it creates this sort of subtle geometric form that is created as a result. And in the end, I think that rigorous 20-foot structural system gets broken, that rule is broken at the edges, and it creates the sort of shape of the building, and certainly the shape and plan, and that shape and plan creates a sort of a dynamic shape of the overhangs, and sort of, and where that came from was very quite, in a strange way, simple. I mean, we're in the bird streets, right? We're on a street called Nightingale, and I imagine that if we're going to respond to anything, would be part of that, would be something of that nature, and therefore this shape is really nothing more than an abstraction of a wing, of a shape of a wing, of perhaps of a bird's wing, and really it becomes a sort of a very architectural adaptation of that.
My name is Mauricio Oberfeld. My company is Dugally Oberfeld. We were the builder for this project, and I've been involved in this project since the inception. In fact, we were involved when the client purchased. We were involved throughout the process of assembling the team for this property. Everything from the architecture to the design, the construction, the logistics of it, everything that the client wanted out of this property. And this is pretty much what we are used to doing, not just fitting the role of the general contractor, but also being part of the team that makes the project successful. These properties up here have just incredible views. So obviously the views lend themselves to a project that's going to be very open, a lot of glass, and a lot of opportunities to capture the view. With that in mind, this is actually the first project that is done in the hills in this area specifically, where we actually excavate the whole basement area and go from street to hillside on the back. this really was a special project in that sense because it allowed us to take the whole lower level and instead of making it a basement, to really make it an entire fully lit level. We have light coming in from every angle, light from the top. We have skylights coming in from the sides. We have the incredible retractable skylight, which is 60 feet long. And when you're down in that atrium in the lower level, makes you feel like you are just in the hub of the house rather than making you feel like you're subterranean. And we're able to capture views almost from every angle, top and bottom. So this has been a very special project to do for that specific reason. And it's been quite a treat to work on a project where the client really allows you to do something like this because it's not an easy feat to do. It's time consuming, it's costly, but we were able to really maximize the property and get that feeling of being in a very well lit space in almost any room of this house.